I'm now going to turn on the machine and sync the scale. When I turn on the machine, you'll hear a series of 7 beeps. The machine is going through a self-diagnostic check. Now it's starting to look for the scale. It will do this automatically. You see scale flashing here? I turn on the scale. We're going to wait between 5 and 10 seconds, and it will connect. Now it's connected, the beeping stops, and the scale stops flashing on the screen. Now I'm going to hook up my hoses. The first one I'm going to hook up is my refrigerant tank hose. Make sure that you're purging the refrigerant tank hose with a little bit of refrigerant vapor to ensure that there's no air or moisture or other contaminants left in the hose. The second one I'm hooking up is my suction line. And the third one, just because it's the way they came out, is going to be my liquid line hose. And that's it. The machine is now hooked up. So now let's set a refrigerant charge weight. The first thing we do is push enter, and you'll see here that it's showing 21 pounds and 4 ounces. That was the weight that I put into the last system I worked with this machine. So I can change this weight very simply by just hitting my cycle button, hitting the plus button, getting back to 0, hit the cycle button again, again, and again, and now I'm at 0. Now, if I get to the point where I discover, oh wait, it's not supposed to be 1 pound, 0.85 ounces, it's supposed to be 2 pounds, 6 ounces, because I forgot to count part of my line length. So if I hit enter again, nothing's going to happen. I have to turn the machine off, give it about 3 seconds, turn it back on. It goes through the self-check again. It syncs with the scale again. Notice it's already synced. I hit enter. What did I say I needed? 3 pounds, 6 ounces? No, it was 2 pounds, 6 ounces. So I come over here, raise it up to 2. And I'm at 2 pounds, 6 ounces. I set my weight. Now that we're programmed, I'm going to press the start button. But first I wanted to tell you how the machine determines how long it's going to take to pull a vacuum. It uses 2 variables in a computer program. The first one is, how much refrigerant charge did we program into the machine? That gives the machine an idea of about how much piping it's going to have to evacuate. The second thing it takes into account is how long it takes to go from atmospheric pressure to 3,750 microns. It uses a computer program then to generate the remaining evacuation time. Now I'm ready to hit the start button. You can see my micron reading. I pulled down very quickly because I'm actually working with a closed system with a manifold, and it's now telling me that I have 20 minutes left. If I hit the select button, I'll get how many microns I've pulled down to. So let's see what happens after we start the machine and we lose power. So I start the machine. I'm down to my 20 minutes, and uh-oh, somebody kicked off the power cord. What's going to happen? Plug it back in. Resyncs the scale. I hit start and I'm ready to go again. So the nice thing was I didn't lose any of my vacuum. Let's look at manual operation. If I hit the select button, I will take my operation indicator and I'll move it down to evacuating. It comes up with a default of 30 minutes of evacuation time. If I hit enter, I can then change this. I want 2 hours. So that 2 hours is 120 minutes. Again, use the cycle. $120. I hit enter. If I hit start, the vacuum pump will go. This vacuum pump will run for up to 999 minutes, or 16.5 hours. If I don't want to do evacuation, I hit the select button again, and it takes over to charging. And here, once again, I can program in my charge. If I don't want to charge, I just hit the select button again. Now I can go into testing, and I have an electronic manifold. If I've used the NAVAC charging station in automatic mode where I've evacuated, charged, and tested the system, or I've added refrigerant and then test run the system, I'll need to purge my machine. What I do is hit the select button, it goes to purge, it's a 10-second purge cycle. I hit start, the machine purges. When it gets down to 0, I close my valves and I can disconnect the hoses from the system I've been working on. If you find yourself locked out at some point in time, just turn the machine off, turn it back on, and you start over. So let's see how long this takes to do in real world. My experience in the field has shown me that sometimes technicians think it's going to take too long or it's too complex to use this machine out in the field. This NAVAC charging machine is very easy to use. So let's see how long it really takes to program it. I'm going to turn on my power. I'm going to wait for the machine to go through its self-diagnostic check and for the scale to sync. Then I'm going to enter a charge weight of 23 pounds, 4.2 ounces. I hit enter. Whoever used this last put in 86 pounds, must have been a big system. So we're going to come over. We're going to come up to 2. Now we're going to go up to 3. Now we're going to go to 4. And to point 2. Hit enter. Open my valves and start. That's all the time it takes. And you can see I'm at 67 minutes. That's because that's how long the machine calculated it was going to take to evacuate based on the amount of weight of my charge. If I hit select, I'm at 790 microns. One thing I want to talk about for just a minute is low ambient charging. In this hypothetical system, you can see we're putting in 23 pounds, 4.2 ounces. That's a lot of refrigerant to get out of a 25-pound tank. So what's probably going to happen is I'm going to get a insufficient pressure warning. We use a differential pressure to charge our system, and before I get to that 23 pounds, there's going to be more pressure in the system than there is in the tank, or it will balance out and become equal. So how do I get around this? Well, the first thing I want to do is I want to close my liquid valve. I want to throttle down my suction valve, start my system. As I run my system, I can open my suction valve until I begin charging again. An alternate method to charging in low ambient conditions would be to warm the tank with a blanket heater. Make sure you put the heater on the tank before you start running the machine so the scale recognizes the weight of that blanket heater. Now that we've gone through the operation of the NAVAC charging station here in the shop, let's join my friends Sergio and Al from Associated Heating in Anaheim Hills on a job site where they put their hands on the charging station for the first time. Let's see how they do.